Okay, I think we're ready whenever you're ready, Ms. Bry.
Okay, great. Well, we have a big group today and a busy day, so we best get started. I'm Rosemary Bright. I'm the vice chair of the Design Review Board here. And it looks like we have quorum, so we'll go ahead and take roll. Paige
Okay,
Anthony.
Present.
Maria, do you want to do the roll call?
No, please go ahead.
Okay. Carol Clement, it looks like she's out today. Kate Hayes
He's out today as well.
and Dan Maher.
Present.
Grace Shaw.
Systems to seal.
Grace is here. And Chris has recused himself for this case. Is there anyone else who's a DRB member not listed here who's present today? Okay, great. Next on our agenda, I think we're going to table this item until the end of the meeting. It's the election of chair and vice chair. So we'll go ahead and table that until the end and move forward to number 3, review and approval of the 11/7/25 LAR and meeting minutes. Maria's got it up on screen. We'll just look for a motion to approve or any discussion anyone has.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Paige. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second the motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Grace. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. And the motion passes. All right, next up, we'll have a call to the audience. Is there anyone on the call today who is not part of the project, but is actually a member of the audience and would like to speak to the Design Review Board? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and move forward with the case. It's the new TEP Vine substation. And Maria, would you please give us a report?
Yes, Ms. Prime, members of the DRB. So this is a case that the DRB had reviewed back in 2021 for the construction of a new electric power substation for TEP. Back in 2021, the DRB recommended approval. However, when the case was taken to the zoning examiner, it was denied based on the fact that the final transmission line route for the connections to the proposed substation were not yet determined. So this has now been resolved, so the applicant had to reapply again for a new special exception application, and that's why we're here today. The case is scheduled to be reviewed by the zoning examiner in January. TEP is here, or a representative from TEP here is here to make a presentation. And that's all I have. If you have any questions, please let me know. Jay Olivas, he's a lead planner for entitlements. He's the one processing this special exception application. He's available too if there's any other questions.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Does anyone on? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And I forgot to mention the DRB's purview. It's in the agenda, but I'll go ahead and read it. In accordance with UDC section 4911A8, the use specific standards for utility use group distribution system land use. It reads, any building housing such facility shall be in keeping with the character of the zone in which it is located. The Design Review Board shall review all applications and make recommendations to the zoning examiner. The DRB shall review architectural style, building elevations, materials on exterior facades, color schemes, new mechanical equipment locations, light of outdoor areas, window locations and types, screening, landscaping, vehicular use areas, and other contributing design features.
Great, thank you for that. That really helps. All right, does anyone on the Design Review Board have any questions before we ask the applicant to present? All right, we'll go ahead and move forward. And who will be presenting on behalf of TEP?
Good morning. My name is Brian Pugh. I'm the consulting planner for Tucson Electric Power from Sonora Land Resources. Can I go ahead and share my screen?
Please do.
Thank you. I bet that my screen. There we go.
Great,
Can
we
you
can
see
see
that?
it now. We sure do. So please
Okay,
go
thank
ahead
you.
and
Sorry about
start your
that.
presentation.
Again, thank you, Maria and co-chair and board members. Good morning. My name is Brian Pugh. As I mentioned, I'm a consulting planner from Sonora Land Resources for Tucson Electric Power. And we're here today for the Vine Substation DRB hearing, and is a requirement of the special exception land use permit that was put in recently. Maria gave a good background. Yes, we have been here before, but today we do have a full complement of people from TP to answer your questions about the larger project and also specifically about what the DRB is reviewing today. As Maria mentioned, the design materials. With me today, I have Jared Dickinson, who from TP's Environmental Land Use Planner, Drew Neptune, who's the engineering project manager that will be leading the development and construction of the Vine substation, and Jesus Martinez, who is the civil transmission engineer for TP on this project. Today in the presentation, just to let you know, we have the project summary, which we've talked a little bit about. Then we'll look at the location map, where it is in the city and in relationship to Midtown, and then we'll look at some photo simulations to kind of to show the design selection that we have for the wall and landscape materials. And we'll look at more detail on those walls. And then we'll also have a proposed plant palette and some water harvesting techniques that are planned for the design. The location map, this is in Midtown. You can see Grant Road and Speedway to the north and south, Campbell and Mountain. And this in the blue outline there is just east or west rather of Banner. Here's a little bit closer view of it. This is a 1.6 acre parcel that Tucson Electric Power purchased from the Arizona Board of Regents in 2021. And it was the former location of the facilities maintenance buildings, which now have moved to the south. And these buildings now are still there, but are abandoned and secure in basically waiting for the development of the Vine substation. Existing conditions and uses around the substation to the north is the existing and operating UA salvaging and recycling facility. To the west is the residential neighborhood in West University. To the south of the substation is the operating TEP 46 kV substation, and just south of that is the U of A's 46 kV GIS substation. And of course, to the east is the Banner staff parking garage for the hospital. The preliminary development plan, as Maria mentioned, was brought forward to the board in 2021, and this is the same presentation that was made in 2021. Basically, the 1.6 acres will be enclosed by a 13.5 foot tall security wall, which has a design features what we'll be looking at. And it will be a 138 kV gas insulated substation. This is done in locations where you're limited on land so that all of the equipment can be encased in a hermetically sealed vessel with the insulating gas so that much less land use space is necessary for the substation to operate. And here we have residential uses to the west, as I mentioned, the north, we have the recycling banner to the west, and south, we have the existing substations. The main feature that we'll be looking at today for the land use that, to be compatible with the residential to the west is the 20-foot landscape buffer, which will be, as you can see here from the Vine Avenue here with the right-of-way, 10 feet of right-of-way, then the 20-foot setback, and then the wall, and then the equipment for the substation. The proposed height of the wall, which I mentioned, is 13.5 feet, which then it matches an existing design that U of A has down at their GIS substation. And then we'll look at some photos of that as we go forward. Here's the first of the photo simulations. This is looking from far south. Existing conditions. Here you have the garage from Banner in the background. This is the existing wall of the 46 kV substation that the U of A med. Here's Vine Avenue and the equipment that is there currently. In the future, that wall will maintain, and then you'll begin to see the new equipment for the transmission line that will come in and drop in. And then the wall will begin down here on the southern end and move forward about all the way up to the top of the parcel to the north. A better view from the north looking directly at the existing conditions of the former facilities buildings for the U of A and what the proposal is for TEP's Vine substation, GIS substation. The decorative wall is the design that we'll be looking at. The background, you have the Banner parking facility, and then the proposed locations of the 138 kV transmission line, the drop into the structure into the substation. And then in the back here, you see this canopy, which is a 20-foot high metal canopy that protects the GIS vessel and system, and then it also has a gantry crane underneath to be able to remove the equipment for maintenance over the life of the project. That canopy will meet the height requirements of the R2 zoning district. And again, the landscape materials here are compatible with desert acclimated plants. We'll look at that plant palette going forward, and that will be the 20-foot setback. The transmission structure will be located in the right-of-way, but this shows them kind of adjacent to it for the purposes of the photo simulation. But we'll look more of that in the plan view, where they'll actually be closely more located in the right-of-way versus adjacent in the 20-foot setback. Here is actually the existing wall and the design drawings that came from what was designed in 2014. But it is 13.5 feet tall. The gates that will be 2 on Vine and 1 on Ring Road have a metal screen that has basically an opacity to it. So if you're looking directly through the screen, you can see into it. So as security teams pass through, they can see that there's basically nothing going on inside. As you move away from the direct position, it has a 70% opacity. And then here's the presentation of the plant palette, the different structure of trees, shrubs, ground cover, and the accent plants that were basically examples of that. And then examples of the water harvesting features with curb cuts and the basins, the micro basins all along the whole 20 feet. The plants will be irrigated to establishments. And then of course, and once established, then the water harvesting features will then be their main irrigation. Those are the main features. So we're ready to take any questions that board members may have for us.
Great, thank you very much. I think you answered a lot of the questions I was thinking of, but I'd like to open it up to the design review board and hear what questions everyone has.
Yeah, you had mentioned that the rendering differs from the plan. Can you show us on this plan where those drop
You bet.
features are?
So basically, in relation here being the 20-foot setback, here's the 10 feet of right of way. That would be in the right of way. Those would be adjacent to this. This is that dropping structure that you see here. That in relation is this structure right here, that H frame. So these locations of these will be as in the current, and this is the right of way here. So the current facilities are in the right of way. So these would be basically removed. And then these two new ones will be in the location in the side of the right of way. And then the 20-foot setback would be obviously the wall, the fence that's here is the parcel boundary. And from there, 20 feet will be dedicated to this landscape. And then obviously the wall will be there and then the substation behind it.
Okay, yeah, I think that the image is a little deceiving. It seems like the wall is in place with that fence, but what you're telling us is the wall is actually 20 feet farther back than the fence, right?
That's correct. So you basically, here's the carts are here, curb, 10 feet of right of way. Existing, those two, the structure you saw is sitting right here. And then then the 20-foot setback, then the wall. And as you see down, as you get, and I have other images that show the right of way if board members want to look at that. But the walls will line up. Here's the existing wall that we looked at in the photo sim of the substation that's there right now.
We can't
So those
actually see
walls
your
will line up.
cursor. We can't see your cursor for some reason. So maybe you could kind of help us
How about right
understand
there?
verbally.
Oh,
There we
yeah.
go. Now I can see that.
So there's the wall there. And so those will line up. Those also are in the same alignment as the U of A's GIS substation going farther. So there'll be a direct alignment all the way down.
Okay.
What is the existing right of way?
10 feet
It's 10 feet. So ultimately it's 30 more or
Correct.
less.
from the curb.
I had a question about the existing trees.
Yes.
Is there a native plant protection plan for this site?
Of course, when we move forward in the development plan, yes, they'll go through the inventory that's there. Fortunately, this has all been inventory. It's all part of the U of A's Arboretum. So we went out, actually just field checked the Arboretum's inventory and they are there. And there are acacia, sweet acacia and Chilean mesquite in the right of way. The trees that are within the boundary of the parcel will be removed. They're mature sisu trees
Oh,
that were planted probably in the 60s or 70s. And they'll be a part of the inventory, but of course removed and then replaced with the native plants that will be in the setback.
so are the trees in the right of way now going to remain?
My
Or
guess would
those-
be yes. I mean, there's obviously no conflict with the existing structures. And so if there was any conflict, then of course that would be handled with the development plan and then either replacement or whatever it might be that
Okay.
the city decides.
Yeah, I was just curious because it didn't seem like the rendering shows the existing. They're just showing the proposed.
Correct. That is
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Because there's some good sized trees, but yeah, sisus are not native and
If you would like to, I have it in a PowerPoint if you want to look at the existing right-of-way conditions.
I think that would be good.
Okay. Let me stop sharing this and grab that one. Okay, can you see that? There we go.
Mhm.
Here, basically, we're at position 1 here, the very northern extent, looking south. So this is the edge. This is position 2 here, looking back. Now here again is an existing facility, a structure in the right of way. As we move to position 3, looking north, this is the gate here that goes into from Vine into the facility. And then again, this is position 4 here, looking south. And this is where we see the first acacia that's there against an existing structure. Position 5 here, looking north. Existing structure. Here's again another, I believe that one is, it looks like maybe one of the Chileans. But again, we have well, it's in the Arboretum's inventory. And then 6, looking north, basically some shrubs, and you start to see the sisus along that are in the parcel. 7 is it basic, now we're at the northern end of the fence, or the southern end of the fence. Here's another structure. And then as we see from 8, now the fence is gone, so that now you have the 10 feet of right of way and the 20 feet of setback. So this will be the alignment of the building, the tan building will be the wall. So that alignment of the walls will go straight down Vine. And then 8 again, just looking north. This is basically looking into the parcel where you have all the sisus.
Yeah.
And then 9 here, which is right next to the existing 46, just on the curve here, looking south, or looking north rather, so you can see the actual structure that's here in the right of way, edge of right of way, and then this will be the setback. And then finally here, we've come back into 10, which are now in Vine, looking at the existing 46 kV, this 10 will be the new 138 wall. Then here in 11, this shows the existing treatment of the 13.5-foot wall around UA's GIS, and then the step down to the 11-foot existing TP substation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right, I think that was helpful. So do I understand correctly that the existing fence and gate are going to be removed along the entire length?
That is correct.
Okay. And then the new structures that you will be placing will be in line with the existing, or will they be justified more toward the wall?
Most likely they're going to be in the same position you see here in 9. That's in the right of way.
Okay. What other questions do board members have?
So it appears that there's a small discrepancy between the diagrammatic site plan and the elevations that were proposed. And I have a question. I know that this isn't being presented, but what is the intent of the screen wall that wraps to the east side on call it the banner side? Is it to maintain that same relief and kind of undulating nature of the wall, or is that going to be a flat facade?
Are you, let me just clarify your question really quick. Are you talking about the setback here on the existing or the future?
On the future, what you guys are proposing. So on your site plan,
Okay,
you use the line as a boundary that is straight. And then on your elevations, there's clearly a relief pattern that matches the existing that is further
Correct.
to the south. And so my question is the intent to keep that same patterning in the entire enclosure that goes around, or along Ring Road there? Is it going to be, are you proposing a flat wall?
It would match the undulation. So okay. That would be from the parcel boundary back in. And again, that looks like it's about 6 inches. So it would be out, but obviously the farthest extent would be the parcel boundary, okay. Then back in the parcel boundary, back in the parcel.
So the intent is just to maintain the materiality and the patterning that wraps the entire thing.
That's okay. Correct. Okay. That is correct.
Thank you.
And then the 13-foot 4-inch height goes all the way around the perimeter. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Right. Any other questions?
So there's no buffer on Ring Road. Is that correct?
That is correct. Ring Road is a private road owned by U of A. And basically, it's the current condition that's there.
Mhm.
The blue fence, which is their security fence and visibility fence, is on the parcel boundary.
Would it be helpful to look at our purview to see if we have any more questions?
Sure. That's a good idea. So architectural style, building elevations, materials, colors, mechanical equipment locations, lighting, windows which don't pertain here, screening landscape, vehicular use areas, and other features.
Yeah, looking at the purview, can we go back to the canopy? Is there only one canopy, and can you describe a little bit more the construction of that?
Sure. There is one canopy. And the one canopy basically will cover, the main equipment. It's 25 feet tall. There's an existing structure at the Tucson GIS substation, which is over off of just north of downtown. That structure is I guess you would say, battleship gray. So it's in the renderings, it shows it at that color. And that's obviously the protective treatment that's on the actual steel. And so that's, again, it meets the height requirement. And underneath it actually is a functioning component of the facility. It has a gantry crane that you can basically lift up the equipment and pull it in and out of position. There you go.
So this canopy will be 25 feet in the air?
Correct.
Okay, so it's not quite represented correctly here in the rendering.
It's from that perspective, from the perspective where it is, it's correct.
It just looks shorter.
It does. And how far away from the wall is that canopy?
It looks like if I'm looking at from the site, the plan view, that's 20 feet, 20 feet. It looks like it's over 35 feet away from the wall.
Okay.
Enough room for equipment to move safely, a safe distance away from, from energized equipment inside the substation during operation.
Okay. And is that the tallest element inside of the wall?
Of the equipment for the substation, is the height of the transformers is about 14.5 feet. Then within inside of the substation, if you look at one of the photo simulations, you see the H-frame, which are from the drop-in structures from the transmission line come in. And then in protection of all, there you go. And then if you go to the following one from the north, that has a little bit better view of the equipment handling the conductor, a little bit farther down. Yeah, next. Perfect. Yep, that one. So that's the drop-in structure. And then the H-frame for it to drop in the line into the transformers. And then basically what other ones, the 55-foot high structures you see that are around the transformers and the GIS equipment are lightning masts. And that's a structure to protect the equipment from obviously lightning. And those are generally 55 feet tall and have that brushed galvanized finish similar to any electric light structure in the right of way in Tucson, so that there's no glare.
Okay. Most of the drop structures I've seen around town are finished with what looks to be like a rusted color that would match this brick wall. Are you planning on finishing these with that similar color?
I'm going to ask one quick question of one of our members from TEP, Clark Briner, who is on the team. The transmission line is approved by the ACC, but if the color of the structures inside for the lightning masts. They generally do not like to use the corten as it drops rust on the equipment below it, which can damage the equipment. So, but the transmission structures, I believe, are going to be that corten steel rusted brown, but not the equipment inside the substation. Clark, is that transmission line color going to finish going to be the corten steel?
Brian Clark had to jump to another meeting.
Oh, did he?
Yes, but I pinged him to let him know you have a question.
Okay, yeah, that's, and know that board members, that they have in different neighborhoods with when the line was approved as part of the public outreach. Some neighborhoods, based on where the structures were located, did request either the galvanized finish or the corten steel. And so that was discussed. And so some locations there'll be two different finishes in the line based on, but a majority of it will be that corten steel rust color that you're right, which would match the wall color. But internally, that finish has to do with the operation of the equipment over the life cycle of it.
Sure, I think we're more concerned about the drop structures on the
There,
outside.
there's the rendering that's online shows them as corten steel.
Okay, it's on the line siding one. Okay.
I just dropped it in the chat. This shot.
That's what I remember seeing.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we could just confirm that that's the finish, I think that would be helpful.
That we
Normally I'm
can.
not a fan of that, but it does look better with the wall.
Okay.
I
So-
was wondering, oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead,
no, go
Rosemary. I was wondering about the rainwater harvesting, because I see flow arrows and I see that some of the water is going to the northwest and some's going to the northeast.
Mhm.
And this might just be completely out of our purview, but I'm assuming this has to have a commercial rainwater harvesting plan, or no?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, and generally if in other substations inside, inside the city of Tucson that have been designed, Keno, Patriot, Cottonwood, they have penetrations through the wall at the base.
Right.
So that you can get flows that come off inside the substation, then out, and that would basically feed into those basins.
But the water going to the east, where's that going?
To the east, that would then be basically handled in the drainage system that inside of obviously U of A over to their water harvesting basins down Vine.
Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming that it was graded to,
And if
like,
not, right, it
10
can
yeah.
be easily graded so that all flow goes into Vine.
I mean, I would try to max out the capacity of those basins on the west side, especially if the intent is to ultimately turn off irrigation.
Yes.
I know Little Leaf Ash does like water, as does Desert Willow, although they are, drought resistant. But yeah, I like the plant palette. So lighting was on the list. Typically, is there lighting in these projects or no?
The lighting that exists inside the substation is used when maintenance or work is being done, but they're not lit without, if just a regular night, they wouldn't be lit because it is an unmanned facility. So obviously if there were technicians inside during the night checking equipment, doing repairs, the lights would be on for working. But otherwise there would not be lighting of the substation
Yeah,
internally.
and there's no lighting on the outside of the wall.
Correct.
Right. Okay. And that's typical, I'm assuming.
Just to note also that all these facilities have cameras around all of the edges for 360 view of internally and external. So the landscape materials They tend to try to move them as far away as they can because they don't want structural structure of a tree to be able to be used to be able to get into the substation. So Keno is a very good example of one that has the trees are there, but they keep them maintained. So there's that gap there between the actual structure of the tree and the wall itself. And then of course for line sight for view of the cameras so they can see all the way down.
There are also smaller trees too, so
Exactly.
that helps. It's hard to use a little leaf ash to climb. Yeah.
Okay, on that note, I wonder, will there ever be a conflict between the trees and the power lines that run overhead there?
That'll be taken into consideration during the landscape design. That'll be reviewed by the engineering team, so that there won't be wherever the structures are located. The final destination of the structure, there will obviously be if anything's underneath it, it'll be shrubs and not trees.
All right, any other questions on heights, materials, colors, landscape, lighting, anything in our purview? Nothing?
I don't have any more questions.
Does anyone feel comfortable moving forward with the motion? How are we feeling about that? I have two notes that I think we would want to include as, if not conditions, just suggestions. And one is to ensure the core 10 steel finish of those vertical components, those drop-ins, and also to suggest that the rainwater harvesting be sloped to the west in order to give the most irrigation to those plants. Any others that I missed?
I would just ask for clarity on the question that I asked related to the stepping of the wall around the perimeter. I know that ring is private, but I think that gives a better overall understanding of the project for stakeholders in the future.
Okay. That's a good catch. All right, any other suggestions or conditions that we want to apply before moving forward? Would somebody like to take a stab at the motion? No? Are we comfortable putting a motion forward?
Yes.
Okay. Grace, how are you feeling? Are you good with putting forth a motion?
Yeah,
Or
the
is
thing I was just kind of looking back at is I think that Brian had mentioned that relief on these undulations that Dan brought up is 6 inches. In the rendering, it seems deeper. And I was looking through the drawings to see if there was any indication on the elevation of what that is.
Yeah.
That looks like actually it looks like a foot, doesn't it? Looking at the
On the
1, 2,
existing
3.
wall, yeah. Also on the existing wall, if you look down
Yep.
there, it's definitely deeper.
A couple feet.
It looks like some are shallow and some are deeper, so that it does vary the change.
Mm-hmm.
I think from the perspective of having such a long wall, the variation is a nice design feature. So I didn't mean to say that we need to lock it in at a certain depth. I just wanted to get an understanding of what we're proposing.
Sure. Okay, well, if no one else wants to, I could take a stab at the motion and list these three suggestions that we have. So the design review board has reviewed the applicant's project for compliance with special exception use specific standards for utilities distribution system and finds the project in compliance with the use-specific standards set forth in UDC section 4.9.11.8.8. And we have the following suggestions. We would like to ensure that the drop structures are finished with the core 10 finish to best match the brick wall that's being proposed. We would like to ask that the rainwater harvesting system be sloped toward the west to serve the landscaping that will be provided. And we would like to confirm that the east wall will also be stepped to provide some visual relief from the very long wall.
I'll second that motion.
Great, thanks. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion passes. Thanks very much, Brian, for your presentation. Appreciate you coming back. I know it was a little frustrating last time around, and thanks for your patience.
No problem. Thank you very much, board members. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks everyone for your time.
Thank you. All right. That was a little quicker than I expected, actually. Okay, I guess we're up to number 6, staff announcements. Maria, you're muted. I wonder if anyone else is coming back from the DRB. Do you know if Chris would be joining?
Let me see. He decided not to.
He's not
to
back.
attend.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys want to continue again for the next meeting. The election
how long
of
can we do
chair,
this?
vice chair.
I really think we should continue it, but
Okay.
maybe we could do it at the beginning of the meeting next time.
Okay. So do I get a motion?
Sure. I move that we continue the election until the next DRB meeting.
Any second?
I second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Kick the can again.
Do we want to try and get everybody for that election item?
I think that would be best, but we probably won't get every single person. Maybe we should just make an announcement that, everyone who's interested in potentially, being a chair or vice chair, or or if they have a preference on who is the chair or vice chair and they want to vote on that, they should be at the December meeting.
Yeah. I think it would be good. I just feel like we should have this election sooner, maybe before the end of the year. So it only gives us what, one meeting, or is there another potentially two meetings? Maria, is there currently anybody on the agenda for the next meeting?
Not yet, Ms. Anthony, members of the DRB. There's a couple of cases coming your way. One of them has submitted a design package, but we're requesting the applicant to make some revisions. It's called the Straveny Social on the Sunshine Mile. It's going to be a mix of retail and services and commercial recreation, but before they come to you, they need to go through DRB, the PRS. So probably you won't see them until January.
Okay.
We'll see how fast they move. And the other one that mentioned they were going to file for a courtesy review with both the PRS and the DRB. I mentioned that before is the Ascent Tucson, the new apartment complex, also in the Sunshine Mile district, right across from the existing TUSD offices. It's the entire block. But yeah, I don't know yet if there's gonna be any December meeting.
Okay, well, would anyone, how would you all feel about having a December meeting just to vote and get it done? Just a very quick meeting.
I think that would be good.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
plan
it
on
was.
Okay. And also, I would like to welcome Mr. Mayor to the DRB. We finally went through the whole process. The clerk's office has new procedures to nominate somebody to the DRB, so we had to learn through that and wait. But yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Mayor. And
Yeah,
if you want to
welcome.
introduce yourself, just tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. I mean, I know most of the people on the DRB, so they're gonna be
Oh.
like, here's Dan talking about himself again. Great.
It's okay.
We love it,
We
Dan.
do.
Come on.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah, so my name is Dan Maher. I am an architect and licensed general contractor here. I'm originally from Tucson. I have worked at various different design and design built firms in Tucson, and now I am the regional executive for Kitchell Contractors in Southern Arizona. So,
Welcome. I have a question for you, Dan. Which hat are
Sure.
you wearing on the DRB? Are you wearing your contractor hat or your architect hat?
I am wearing the master builder hat on the DRB. No, I'm technically I represent.
Oh, that cut out. I missed
Yeah,
it.
it cut out.
Oh, sorry.
Cliffhanger.
I represent the general contractor team.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, that's been vacant
I'm
for a
every
while.
general contractor's worst nightmare in that I'm an architect representing them on the designer team. So, yeah.
Well, very good. We're glad you're here. Maria, do you have any other announcements for us?
No, not today.
All right. Well, I guess I'll look for a motion to adjourn. I move we adjourn.
Second that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you so
everyone.
much, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
happy
to you all.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thanks,
you. Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.